Hello everybody, it's Jamie. How are you all today? I have an 8.5 by 11 layout today. This is my last layout for 2018, so I'll probably be doing an album flip through soon, just kind of figuring out how I'm going to record it. Anyway, this is some Christmas cookies that I made. Obviously, starting to do dark burst watercolor layout thing, so I was just using that paper plate, that plastic plate, to draw an outline of a circle, and now I'm going to do it in rainbow colors because, as you can see in the photos that were there before, there's no sort of clear color, so I'm just going rainbow. So I'm going to do the red on camera and then I'm going to do the rest off camera just to show you, and this is kind of the technique that I do, so my head's in the way, but basically you blow on it with a straw or something and it makes it kind of go whoosh out everywhere. I think I saw this on an maybe go, I think, and I'm giving it a go. So I'm just rubbing off a bit of the pencil mark that I did because these watercolors aren't the greatest and they will stain a little bit. So as you can see, I'm using my water brush just to go and get some pigment on that circle line, and then I'm going to use my little straw thing and blow on it. So I try to show you, it's a little bit hard with my head, but that's how it works. So I do this red one and then I'm going to do the rest off camera. It did take a little bit of trying to get it to work, but it was a fun layout to do. It's an easy sort of fun mixed media technique. This was not difficult at all. This watercolor set I think I got from a $2 shop and it cost me like, I don't know, $5. So this is a really easy way to get into doing some mixed media. So I'm going to pause the camera here and get on to do the rest. So I'll be back in a second. Here it is, all done. I really liked how this turned out. It maybe took me 5-ish minutes to do it all. Because these watercolors aren't the best, I'm actually happy with how it looks and it's not too pigmented because I think it would stand out too much. You could probably achieve this same technique using inks or watered down acrylic paint, but I'm just using watercolor because that's what I had on hand. So I don't want too much paper on these photos, so I do just decide to do a little bit of white tissue paper, and I'm just using double-sided tape to stick that down. Now I know I say in every video if you're using mixed media to use a wet glue, but I do just use double-sided tape to stick these ones down onto the layout because these watercolors aren't the best and they're not really adding any texture to the layout, they're just adding color. So I've found that double-sided tape works perfectly fine for watercolors. But things like acrylic paint and stuff, I would definitely use wet glue. So I'm just using my scissors to cut that out. This is just some scrap tissue paper, trying to use it up. I really like how it is. The white tissue paper I've got at the moment it's got a weird texture to it. It doesn't feel soft as this one, so I think I'm going to look to try and find some new ones. I just get tissue paper from $2 shops. I'm sure if you're living in America, they probably sell it in Dollar Tree or any sort of cheap store, you know, where you go to get like a card or some random stuff. So anyway, I'm going to stick that down using some double-sided tape. So I just use my scissors to cut that off, and this is where I'm just fiddling around trying to find the formation of the photos that I want. I've been doing a lot of multiple photo layouts lately, and I'm kind of getting into the groove of it, but I need to film a single photo layout soon that I have, and I'm actually a bit worried because I haven't done one in a long time. And I'm a bit nervous on how it's going to turn out, so stay tuned for that one to see how that one goes. So peeling it off, and I'm going to put this tree one just over the edge. Like I said before, I made these cookies. I think they took me 2 days to do, which is a long time, but I did make about 40 of them. And when I say 2 days, I mean like 2 days, like 10 hours each day. Getting up, doing it, that's all I did. So that was definitely a lot of effort. So here they are stuck down. I did put a bit of foam tape on the back of these photos just to kind of give it a little bit of dimension. And I'm going to put the title down first because I wasn't sure how I was going to embellish this layout. But as you can see by the title of the video, it's She's a Cookie Queen. I thought that was a bit of a clever layout title. All I was thinking of was the Queen and the Cookie Queen. So I stuck that one down, so I'm going to use 2 different types of alphabet stickers. These ones here are Becky Higgins, I think, or Dear Lizzie. No, they're Dear Lizzie. The gold ones are Dear Lizzie, and then these ones are just American Crafts. They're like an epoxy one, and I'm using the black epoxy ones to write the She's a Cookie and then gold for queen because I figured gold stand out queen, very sparkly. I'm really happy with how that title is. I thought it was really clever. So at this point I was still doing just Cookie Queen. So before I stick down the queen, I'm just using the back of these foam ones because these gold ones are foam. I find that they stick really, really well, whereas chipboard thickers, the adhesive for some reason I don't find is as strong. I think everybody kind of generally has that idea. I don't know why. Maybe foam's more of a stickier substance than chipboard, but oh well. So I'm just trimming off the edge of that Z or Z, however you say it, to kind of do an apostrophe because I wanted an apostrophe on there. So she's a Cookie Queen, and without realizing before I put it down, this title is in the dead center of the layout. It stands out a lot. I kind of wish it wasn't as much. I'm just using my ruler here, and I'm noticing on camera that I don't think it's perfectly straight, to attach these straight, and then I just ditch the ruler and just have a go at doing it. It works using the same technique where I just put it off the edge of some clear paper to position it. So there we go. I'll push it down, hold it, and then pull it out. It's really easy. It's a great tip. No idea where I learned it, but it's awesome. I'd recommend doing it. It makes putting your titles down a lot, especially if you are someone who does titles on layouts. Not everybody does that, but this is a great technique, especially if you're starting to try doing it and you're not sure where you want it. Using the clear paper allows you to see where it's going to go without having to stick it down. So you're able to move it to where it's exactly where you want it. And then I'm going to put the apostrophe down and we're good to go. So this is where I start to think, how am I going to embellish this? So I'm just looking at it, figuring out what I'm going to do, and I think I'll do a cluster kind of down the bottom. So I start off with going, when I'm unsure of layouts, do what I always do, add a border around the outside. I don't know why, this makes me feel more comfortable when I'm doing layouts if I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go. I think I wasn't sure because, like I said, there's no one colour anywhere. It's all just colour, which isn't something I normally do. I normally have one main colour and then sort of a supporting colour. So with this one, it's kind of just all the colours. So I decided to make myself feel a little bit better and use black as the colour, and I thought it would add another black element because I have the black of the title, the black of the border around the outside, and then I'm going to have the black of the heart here too. And I do grab out a stamp set in a minute to make like a really quick and simple DIY embellishment. This is something that a lot of people do. So I'm using this offcut of the tag. This tag and the heart are both from Crepe Paper Journal Studio, if you're wondering. And I'm going to just stick those down with some double-sided tape. This is just cut off from a layout in a few weeks, I believe, that you'll be seeing. I have been filming a fair bit in advance, just with going back to uni, trying to get things all ready for the year, because my goal this year is to do as many layouts as possible. These are some epoxy little hearts, and because these are the colours I don't use as much, I don't have any pink ones left or purple ones, so I'm putting down the colours of the hearts on top of the colour of the watercolour. So the red has some red ones, the yellow has some yellow, the green has some green, and so forth. So I'm sticking that down. I had two little purple ones, but as you can see, the purple is very limited showing, so I didn't mind that I didn't have too many. So here is my 1-inch circle punch. This is from Kmart. It works great. If you've seen it and you're wondering how well it works good. Had it for over a year now, and it's pretty perfect. So this is where I grab out a Christmas stamp set. I figured this is a Christmas layout. I should use some Christmas stuff. So this says Season's Greetings, and I'm going to turn this into like an epoxy sticker. So this is the first time I've ever used the stamp set, so it's a bit tough getting it off. Just using acrylic block and some black Memento ink. I think the colour is just the black. I only ever stamp in black because it's just what I do. So using that and then I'm going to do a little practice one just on this sheet of paper here, just to see how it stamps. Like I said, it's the first one that I've used, and it didn't have enough ink on the practice one, so I just re-ink it up, get it nice and inky for the perfect one. So I'm just checking it again and squishing it down. Get your head out of the way, Jamie. Okay, so then I'm going to grab the 1-inch circle punch and just punch that out. So there we go, quick DIY embellishment, really easy, using a stamp, and I thought season's greetings would be good because this was sort of what everyone was having when they came to our house on Christmas Day, and then I brought some over to my boyfriend's house, so that was very, very good embellishment title. So these are just some epoxy stickers that I got off of eBay, and they're 1 inch, so they go perfect with the 1 inch punch, and I'm sticking that down. Just using some double-sided tape, as I said, sort of my go-to adhesive. What's your go-to adhesive? Because a lot of people I see using ATGs and stuff, and to me they just look really bulky and hard to use, so I don't think I'd get one, but I don't know, I'm just curious. I've never really seen the appeal in it. So these are some puffy stickers, and I'm just sticking those down, and I also used some hearts over there. That's a blue one, sort of a bluey teal colour, so I decided to stick that up where the green is. I just wanted a little cluster up the top, and then these are some clear word stickers. Just trimming off the edges here because they do have a lot of extra sort of clearness on the sides. I'm not sure why. I think it was a design choice that they made, but I cut it off. I'm not worried about cutting off embellishments. So I'm putting 2 green ones up the top because it is over the green portion of the sort of starburst rainbowy thing, and then I'm going to put some red ones down the bottom because that's near the red portion. And I think they say something like, this took time and worth the wait, maybe, and like I said, I did that because it took me 2 days to do. This was a commitment project, but it was fun. I loved trying to mix up sort of my creativity with, you know, my love of food, because I do love food. Here I am grabbing out some sequins because initially doing this layout I wanted to do something with sort of sequins because I did just get a fuse tool, and I did actually make a whole pocket, but it was very, very bulky, and it was just too bulky to put into the album because, like I said, this is the last layout to go in it, and I did need it to be relatively thin so that it wouldn't make my album too big. So I'm going to save that fuse tool little thing that I made for another layout possibly, or maybe even save it to use as some shaker pockets, maybe make a card or something. I'm just grabbing out some starwood veneer because I associate Christmas with stars, and because there's a giant star on the tree, so I'm just sticking those down using some glue. And I think I do realize about 5 minutes after filming this how to fix this glue bottle. I've been fiddling around with it for ages, and I finally figured out how to do it, so I didn't have to shove stuff into the nozzle with my tweezers to kind of attach it. One thing I would say, tweezers are a great investment. They are,
and they're so
amazing.
useful for like really tiny embellishments. I remember seeing people use them in videos, and someone was like, I don't need that, and then when I bought one I was like, where has this been my whole life? Same as I think my fuse tool, I'm like, I've been waiting so long to get it, and now that I have it, I'm just so excited. So this is some gold mist. It's just from Studio Calico, and I'm just shaking it up and then using that to add a little bit of gold splatters. Gold I thought would work really well with the Queen, and here we are coming up to basically the end of the layout. So what did you think about this layout? I would really recommend doing this background. It was so much fun. I'm just putting the stamps away here. Like I said, it was so much out and workout. So this is just a roller date stamp, and I'm just adding some stamping, and I think it says The Sweet Life. So this is a Maggie Holmes one from Shane. Whenever I think of that, I'm like, shiny. So I'm just testing it on some scrap pieces of paper just to make sure it's inked properly, and then I'm going to stamp it on there. So I do a little bit down the bottom here, and then one on the side. So I did The Sweet Life because it's a cookie. That makes sense, or I'm just grasping at straws. So I'll do a little close-up here. Hope you enjoyed the video. There'll be some close-up photos at the end. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye!